BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, and a belated Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from me, Ben, here at BXB Games. As you probably guessed from the title of this video and the title of the post, this is going to be my top 10 list for the year. This was a very difficult year, and what I'm going to do for this list is I'm going to freeform down the list as I talk over some of the trailers for each of the games. Basically, I've selected. I thought about using my own capture footage, and then I didn't have capture footage for all of them, so I'm just using official trailers. So it's not my own footage, but you know, I'm going to briefly talk about no more than about 2 minutes on each game as I go down the list. But even then, it's 10 games, so you're talking about a 20-minute long video here. So buckle in for this list. Like I said, very hard to narrow down. Before I really get into my top 10 list, however, I just want to mention some of the games that didn't make my list. I didn't play Uncharted Lost Legacy, and last year, Uncharted 4 slipped onto my list after I really didn't think it would, and it made it on. It was an incredible game, and I'm sure Lost Legacy will be just as good. Nier Automata, however you want to pronounce it, that didn't make my list. I've really enjoyed it so far. I've not put enough time into it. At least I've not put enough time into it to get to that point where I'm like, oh my god, that's what everybody's been banging on about. That's why this game is so amazing. It hasn't grabbed me like that yet, but sadly, the bandwidth just wasn't there to put the time into, you know, really getting into that. Hopefully, these sort of things might pop up when we do our podcasts. And if you know you're listening to this after the podcasts have been recorded or before the podcasts have been recorded, basically me, Richard, and Joel are going to do a massive discussion of the year. And I'm going to actually have to bring up my list here and remind myself of another game. I know there was 3 games on my list that I didn't get. Right, okay, Night in the Woods. I've played it. It hasn't resonated with me in a way, and I don't think it's going to get brought up a lot in the discussion of the podcast. I like it a lot. I've really enjoyed the art style, but it just hasn't clicked with me in the way I thought it would. However, you know, that is what gaming is. Everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. So yeah, this 10 list, it's going to be off the cuff. It's going to be live, as it were, over the trailers, as I'm talking about the games, as I go down my list. So it will be 20 minutes of off-the-cuff discussion, and that's coming up right now. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you agree with my list, and I hope you can at least see why I've picked the games I have picked. Tune into those podcasts, though, for massive amounts of discussion, various categories, as we really dissect the games of this year. But here is my personal top 10 list of 2017. Man, what a great year for games. Shame about everything else. Well, here we go. Number 10 on the list. Let's jump straight in. Super Mario Odyssey. I don't have a huge affinity with Mario, which in many ways is probably why this isn't further up the list. I expected it to be further up Joel and Richard's list, but for me personally, I couldn't resist the charm, though. I mean, it's not something I'm hugely connected to. I never played Galaxy. I've not played a huge amount of the 3D Marios. But, you know, the charm, the visual presentation, the goddamn Mario-ness of this Mario game, from the music to the action to the great, crazy, bizarre, weird sort of Cappy character in which I possess people and do things with them. It's fun, it's crazy, it's completely anarchic and just bonkers. I had a really good time with it, though. I'm not finished it, you know. This is one of those things, and it's going to come up quite a bit probably when you listen to all my commentary on my list here, that due to bandwidth, due to having to review so many games this year for BXB and things like that, hey, you know, first world problems, it's been great, I've really enjoyed my time. It means that a lot of my games have not been completed. I've obviously played enough Mario to really understand how much fun it is, and how wild and just crazy and beautiful and bizarre, and yeah, all those charming things you want from Nintendo, expect from a Nintendo game, you know, that is here in spades in Mario. I can't wait to discuss it further with the guys on the podcasts, as I'm recording before those podcasts get in the can and stuff like that. This is your taste of how the rest of this video is going to go. It's me rambling shambolically through these trailers that I'm playing here with some music. I hope you're enjoying the music. I found some stuff special here, but I don't have a lot more to say about Mario. Can you tell? Can you tell that I'm filling to the end of the trailer here because I can't be bothered to do even more post-production work to edit this video down, because I've already done more work on this video than I would on pretty much any other video I do, because I'm just inherently lazy, and that's who I am. But you know, I'm just rambling to fill I hope you don't mind. It's almost like, really, an extra Bits and Bobs episode. You know, it's just a Bits and Bobs episode with some video in which I talk about the games I played this year. And here we are rapidly approaching the number 9 pick on my list. Now, Persona 5 would have been higher on my list if it had been as good as Persona 4. I put so much time into Persona 4, and the Persona series are games that I have a strong affinity with, which is weird because I'm not a big JRPG gamer. I think it has a lot to do with the setting. I really enjoy high school shit. I don't know why, it's a weakness of mine, but I love it. I love it. And this one is so dark. Again, guess what? Not beating this game, but I have put about 20-30 hours into it, and I went back to it before doing my Game of the Year lists, and the style, the look of this game, the music of this game is just sublime. I just found it hard to connect with the characters in the same way I did with Persona 4's characters. There's no Chie, best girl. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling it as strongly as I am with the Phantom, Persona 4 characters as I am with the Phantom Thieves. They're great, I love them. The combat has been refined, it's better than ever in this Persona. I really enjoy, how the characters play out, even if I don't like the characters that much, they don't connect with me in the same way. You can't deny the music, you can't deny the art, you can't deny the pure Atlas brilliance on display here. I would love for it to have been higher up on my list. I was so excited about Persona 5 coming out. But I can't help but think to myself, I played Persona 4 Golden through on my Vita. I actually bought a Vita again recently to relive my love of Persona 4, and I can't think but help think, there we go, I'm already losing my words, and we're only at number 9, that I would have enjoyed Persona even more on the go if that had been an option for this particular iteration in the franchise. But hey, maybe one day we'll get it portable. So here we are with number 8. And I'm quickly going through some of the biggest games of the year already, and we're already at Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh my god, who thought Guerrilla could do this? After, a few games in the kind of oeuvre of the first-person shooter land, not the most thrilling experiences, that's for to be sure, when we're talking about the Killzone games, especially as you guys know, I come from the Xbox Microsoft family and background, as it were, and Killzone was always its kind of like Sony's kind of pathetic, sort of competing kind of franchise. It was never as engaging as Halo, but here they are, making good with all of that amazing development potential that they have at that studio, with one of the most vivid, different open worlds I've yet to experience. It is a stunningly beautiful world with amazing, behind-the-scenes technology working to render everything. It's a great character in Aloy. She's fab. She's really well voiced by Ashley Birch. She's just a great character to play with. Do you know what, though, didn't work for me that great in Horizon? While the world and the open world is fantastic, I didn't love the combat. I really didn't enjoy the sort of combat puzzle elements almost, the traps and the bombs and thinking about that. So I ended up, dunking the game down to easy just so I could get through it and experience more of the story. Hey, and in the theme of this particular video, didn't finish it. I am, however, working my way through it like I am Persona and the previous games already on this list. I do definitely want to complete the game. I really do find that world super, super compelling. I just sadly didn't fall in love with that combat, which is so much a part of the game. And if you're not going to enjoy that aspect, all you've got then is character exploration and story. And, those elements are very, very strong, better than they really should be for a game, by a studio that's never had experience in an open world development before, but not perhaps as engaging as some others that may be popping up on the list shortly. So I will vamp a little bit here by just saying, oh, look at these lovely visuals as we get to the number 7 on my list. And I feel like this developer are always exciting. Supergiant, whenever they bring out a game, and as they did here with Pyre, you should sit up and take notice. Bastion is one of my all-time favourite games. I actually have some original Bastion artwork on my wall. I love what they did in that game, and I will always check out everything they bring out. Transistor, maybe not the best example of what they can do, but damn, Pyre is cool. Pyre is so weird. It's predominantly a visual novel with these amazing, beautiful vistas and fantastic music. But on top of the visual novel, we have this kind of NBA Jam sort of weird fantasy sports mechanic, which is called the Rights. And then you have this strange sacrificial mechanic where, I don't want to say too much, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but, you know, you're playing these teams and your goal is to get out of this place that you're all stuck in. And, you know, maybe people will leave, so people you make connections with. You know, there's RPG mechanics in there. It just looks stunning. The story is so great. The whole visual novel element, you can tell that the writers working at Supergiant really relished a chance to delve deep into the characters and their motivations and the world and the lore, and it shows in every ounce of this game. It is just fabulous. Number 6, we are firing along here, and who would have thought in a justified place this far up a top 10 list at the end of 2017 we could have got an Assassin's Creed game. Now, I've loved the Assassin's Creed franchise since day one. I have beaten every single proper release on the Assassin's Creed franchise list, from 1 through everything. I really even enjoyed Syndicate. I really enjoyed Syndicate. It's setting in London, the twins, Jacob and Evie. I dug that so much, and yet a lot of people didn't enjoy it. But what we've got here with ACO, Assassin's Creed Origins, is a massive revamp to the combat, a massive revamp and a beautiful, stunning, humongous open world that makes you want to explore and look in every nook and cranny. It's a stunning experience from start to finish. I love Bayek. I loved his wife, Sewa, who you get to, you know, have a really interesting relationship with within this game, and their motivations are different. You know, it's not just an obvious revenge story, and because it's an origin story, we get to see where those assassins and those Templars come from and their interesting origins, and it really is awesome. It's beautiful, especially enhanced on the Xbox One X, and I honestly can't recommend ACO enough. I know a lot of people are going to look past it because of the burnout they might feel from the franchise in general, but they shouldn't. There's Dark Souls-esque combat. It looks stunning. It makes you want to explore. I love the characters. I love the story. And guess what? You get to slide down effing pyramids. How can it go wrong? So, I'm losing my breath already. I'm getting tired here. We're on to number 5. I am not taking a break, though, because number 5 is a tiny little rhythm action game from Mad Fellows, a tiny, small British developer called Aero. Nobody has played this game. Hardly anybody talks about it, knows about it, anything. It blew me away. It's got a brilliant dubstep, English sort of electronic techno. I'm not going to pretend to know about music stuff. I don't. I just know I like the music in this game. I love the controls in this game. It's unique, it's exciting, it's interesting, and it's brilliantly indie. It's that thing where an indie developer comes up with a concept, comes up with an idea that you have not seen before, and nails it 100%. DLC is on the way very shortly. I just heard today about that, and new ships and new music, and that is what I want from Aero, is more bloody content. It is fabulous, this game. More people should play it. It's on number 5 on my list for a reason. This game is a fantastic sleeper hit from 2017. It's going to cost you very little to buy and get in on, and I highly recommend you do it. It's fabulous. Check out Aero. Honestly, just watch this little bit here at the end as we go to my next pick. It's such a cool game. It's an on-rail shooter. It's rhythm action. It's music-based. It's brilliant. Check out Aero. Number 4. Well, this is much like the other Nintendo entry for me on my list, though at number 4 rather than number 10. Zelda Breath of the Wild. I do not have that affinity for Zelda games. While I might have started gaming on a SNES, I was really playing the beat-em-ups. I wasn't really playing the RPGs or the platformers. So I never really engaged with Zelda until this entry. And no, I've not completed it. This is probably the biggest open world game on this entire freaking list. There's no way I've beaten this in this year with all the titles that have been coming out, with all the content I've been producing. It's not even possible. No, don't even dream. Don't even send me a letter complaining. But God damn it, this open world, oh, it draws you in like none other. You want to explore, you want to manipulate and use that amazing physics system that has been crafted here to just climb every mountain, to glide, to, you know, use the magnetism powers to freeze things, to do the awesome dungeons, to find out what's going with this calamity, to find out more about Zelda. Now, the actual main story isn't perhaps the most engaging thing, but man, is the open world a triumph of design, of art, and it's portable? How is this on the go? How can I play this on the bus? It's almost like a miracle. It speaks strongly to the fact that the Nintendo Switch is a revelation. It's probably, in a way, the game of the year of 2017, you know, as a piece of hardware, because I can take on the go amazing console, full-fledged, hundreds of hours gameplay experiences like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I can sit on the bus and play it. If you don't have a Switch, you need to get a Switch. It's the one thing you need to do in your life, because they're so hard to get hold of it. You need to find a way, because my god, Zelda Breath of the Wild is transcendental in its gameplay and its design and its world. I loved it. I loved it. Now, number 3 on my list. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus. It's a cathartic experience right now in 2017. Never have I felt the need more than to shoot Nazis in their goddamn faces and make them suffer. Right now, that is what we should be sort of clinging on to here in the civilized world, that people like Nazis don't deserve to live. And damn, do I love killing Nazis in Wolfenstein 2. Now, it's a shame the combat isn't as balletic and engaging as that of Doom from 2016, my game of the year from last year, but the story and the characters certainly make up for it. I love BJ and Anya's. Their relationship is fantastic. The cutscenes in this game, the crazy shit they come up with and they do on a regular basis is truly mind-blowing and body-blowing and everything blowing up and guts and gore and explosions and dual-wielding guns, and it just feels fantastic. When it all clicks, it's perfect. At my number 2 on the list, take a deep breath. We're going to calm down a little bit here. It's a small indie game. It's What Remains of Edith Finch. It's a beautiful, heart-wrenching, bring you to tears experience. I genuinely, at the end of this game, I swear, hand on heart, was in tears. I was crying like a baby. It took me on an emotional journey through this fantastically realised vignettes, some just completely absurd and surreal, others grounded and heartbreaking and just painful to watch, painful to think about. This story of this family, the Finches, it's so tragic. It's so well done in this game. The world, this house of twisted nightmares and fantasy comes to life and draws you in such a brief experience, and yet moves you so completely. I adored this game. I'm not sure I could ever bring myself to replay it because it was so emotionally wrenching, but my god, it will stick with me forever. It's right up there. It's number 2. But number 1, changing gears once again. Can you handle this? Let's talk about the sensation of 2017. It's a game that I was so excited to play and then finally got to when it came out on Xbox, because my PC really isn't up to it. It's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. You know, you've heard about this. This is the biggest, most popular game on Steam right now. It's sold millions already in game preview on Xbox. It is a multiplayer sensation. It is multiplayer battle royale gaming perfection. It's balanced perfectly. The combat is fantastic. You've got this looting system that's, you know, really accessible. There's always something new to discover and to do. There's a myriad of ways to play it. You know, there's so many different ways of being aggressive or strategic. You can play solo, squads, duos, first person only, and every one of those little modifications makes the game feel different. It is a triumph of design and a concept, and an indie concept I might add, just nailed to the wall. It's easily my game of the year. I got 3 chicken dinners on day 1 on the Xbox release, and I was so, it was the greatest gaming day of my life. And it might be up there with my, you know, marriage for best day of my life. I've not had any kids yet, but I think it's going to compete with that. I love PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I'm always excited to play more of this. I can't wait to see what the developers do to enhance this and make it even better. And I'm going to take a breath, because that's my top 10 list. I told you I was going to do that in one take, and I did. That was intense. 10 games, me talking for 20 minutes non-stop, effusively about an amazing and fantastic year of games 2017. So with that, I will just say, make sure you check out the podcast. There's going to be 4 or 6 hours of us discussing various categories and various games in various ways from 2017. It's going to be well worth checking out, but I hope you agree with and sort of see the merits behind my list. And if yours is different, and if you want to tell me I'm wrong, let me know on Twitter, let me know on Facebook. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll speak to you all soon. Have a good one.
BXB. It's in the game.